No nonsense gin drinking. All gin and a surprising amount of nonsense.
Hello gin lovers, welcome back. I'm Bobby Freeman. Today, my friends, we have a special gin on the show for you. Now, many of my viewers around the world may not have heard of this one. By the way, people do watch this all around the world, believe it or not. I mean, it's extremely poor quality, badly produced, and let's face it, I'm no oil painting. However, for some strange reason, people do watch me from all over the world. My point is that not many of you will have heard of this. However, it's from a very special distillery called the Downton Distillery, and that is the distillery that makes one of my favourite gins, which you definitely have heard of, James Gin. So Hugh, who is the master distiller, I've mentioned him before on this show, and the genius behind James Gin, also creates all manner of other things in his lovely sort of rather modest distillery down in the Wiltshire countryside. And this one, my friends, let me introduce you to it. It's called Explorer's Gin, and it's all inspired by sort of people who like to go and explore. Well, obviously, as you probably imagine by the name, but it's essentially inspired by intrepid people, that like to push the envelope, go further than other people go, and sort of make brave adventures, a bit like myself. And as I said, I visited the distillery, and I was just really impressed by how Hugh works and how he does everything there. And it's really sort of got one eye on sustainability as well. In fact, more than one eye, probably, well, maybe as far as two. And on top of that, he's also an all-round bloody nice bloke. So I'd like to tell you a bit about this gin today and drink it for you and taste it and tell you all about it, and yeah, that's it. So my friends, just sit back, relax, strap yourselves in, close the windows, draw the curtains, bolt the front door shut, tell the neighbours you've gone out, get in your underpants. Well, that's the last bit's optional. Basically what I'm saying is just enjoy the video, underpants or no underpants. And if you can think of a stranger introduction to a gin-based YouTube video, let me know and I'll send you some cash. Explorer's Gin pays tribute to the explorers of the golden era, which I imagine was around 1992, who navigated uncharted waters, and today's explorers who continue to push the boundaries, like I said, a bit like me. Explorer's Gin is our first released gin, capturing the spirit of adventure with Western red cedar providing the backbone. Now this is interesting because rather than just a list of botanicals here, they've actually got a kind of a description of the experience that I will go through. So I'll read that out for you. So juniper appears at the forefront, replaced by the bold, bright and bold citrus flavours of pink, grapefruit and orange. Verbena provides the creamy textures, then pink pepper will cause the radial warmth on the core, whilst Seashorn oils are oxidizing my tongue. I don't think I've had my tongue oxidized before. Maybe I have, I just didn't realize. This will cause the mouth to cool, providing the subtle tingling and menthol notes, which enhance the tail notes of fennel and licorice, providing the final flourish that lingers in the mouth. Well, my friends, that sounds bloody exciting to me. So, is there anything else to do? I don't know. If there is, write a comment in the section below. In the meantime, I'll crack on. Now, just quickly, guys, before we go on, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, and they are ZBiotics. Now, my regular viewers will know that I've been sponsored by these guys for a while now, and I love them. It's such a brilliant idea. If you don't know what they are a pre-alcohol probiotic drink, which basically helps you to bounce back a little bit quicker the day after you've been on a night out. So basically, you take that off like that, you drink one of these lovely little fellows before you go out, and the next day you will be on the road to recovery just a little bit quicker, which can only be a good thing. And that's not the only good thing, my friends, because if you head over there now via the link below this video, you'll be able to get 15% off your first order. So head over there, my friends, get your ZBiotics today. So do we have a cork? I think we do. We know what that means, my friends. It is the cork test. The cork test. So do we have a squeak? Oh my Lord. Listen to that, my friends. That's the most rambunctious, confident squeak we've ever had on the cork test. Excellent. Now, so good, I've lost the powers of speech. So let's go for the full pull. Christ, this is a stubborn one. Hang on a minute. Bloody hell, this could be the first ever one I can't actually open it. Jeez, right, this is getting to be embarrassing now. I'm probably getting all flustered and red. Come on, I'm going to give it a bit of a... Christ, this is a laboured cork test, isn't it? Good Lord, hang on a second. Here we go. I'm sure it's going to go now. Oh, bloody hell. I think I kind of, after all that, I think I slightly sort of made a noise while it did it. But anyway, to be honest, it wasn't quite as impressive as I thought it was. Let's give it another go, just in case. Oh, that's a bit better, actually. I think I must have stifled it a little bit. Anyway, but I mean, it was a lot of effort to go to. Was it really worth it? Possibly not, but we all know it doesn't matter, does it? It's just a bit of fun. So, my friends, I tell you now, I haven't even got near the bottle, and the smell emanating from this thing is incredible. Let's get some in the old glass here, shall we? About that much. Beautiful, clean pour. One tiny drop going down there like that, but we won't say anything about that because we're all friends here, aren't we? Hope we are, anyway. Let's get the old nostrils in here and give this a sniff. Here we go. Oh! Oh my God. That was one of the most enjoyable sniffs I think I've ever sniffed. And I have sniffed many, many things. Some pleasant, some not pleasant. But that was nice. Which is a strange way of describing something. So let me try and put a bit more context on that for you. So, holy heavens above. That is a thick, kind of heady, voluptuous aroma of mostly kind of a big, absolute boatload of juniper. It's kind of thick with it, almost kind of, kind of viscous with it. You can almost kind of just feel it. You can almost kind of grab it. It's almost like, it puts me in mind, have I still got it over here somewhere? I can't remember. Yes, down there. I don't know if you can see that. The Brooklyn gin, which was really, really heavy in juniper, and I like that in the gin. It's kind of wallowing and voluptuous, really good, but backed, oh my God, backed up with a kind of a beautiful tinge of citrusiness, mostly kind of a oranginess, but with a sort of slight sort of tinge of that slightly bitter grapefruitiness as well, and just a kind of a sprinkle of spice as well. There's literally there's everything in here. Everything you could possibly want, but kind of everything's dialed up a little bit more. So this, my friends, is going to be awesome. I say we fanny around no longer. Let's get this one in the mouth, shall we? So, marry it up, make a little tiny gin tonic. Oh dear, I've got a feeling this tonic may be as flat as we say in England, as flat as a fart. But it doesn't really matter. I don't mind it without the bubbles sometimes, to be honest. Anyway, let's not worry about that. Here we go. Thank you to all my wonderful patrons and my members who are helping me just to keep bumping along the bottom of this journey that is YouTube with your very kind donations. This, my friends, is Explorer's Gin from the Downton Distillery, from the master distiller that behind James May's gin, the lovely Hugh. That's it. That's the information. Here we go. I say to every last one of you, cheers. No. Oh, gin lovers. Oh my goodness gracious me. Okay, strap yourselves in again. If you previously unstrapped when I told you to strap yourself in earlier, do me a favour, put the strap back on because you're going to need it. So, just as the aroma promised, there is bag loads of juniper. It's like someone's got a great big sack, like a great, I'm not sure the weight of sacks, I don't deal in sacks, but I know a sack about yay big, filled it full of juniper and just swung it around a little bit to get some momentum and then just smacked you right in the head with it, but in a pleasant way. It just kind of hits you and sort of envelops all the sort of the nasal cavities and every other kind of cavity. Well, not every cavity, obviously, that'd be a bit weird. It just kind of hits you and sort of balloons and clouds out and sort of fills all your nasal cavities and like, every other kind of cavity and, well, not every cavity, obviously that'd be weird. But then just around the edges, just on skirting around this sort of cloud of juniper is a sort of a twinkly, sparkly, sort of zesty, citrusy essence. And again, it's definitely orangey, but there's a tinge of bitterness added by that grapefruit. I think Hugh's obviously just used grapefruit in moderation here. As I always say, grapefruit's a very powerful thing, but used in moderation, it can really sort of bring a depth of flavour to gins that many other things can't. And I definitely get that creamy essence that he talks about. There's a smoothness, a kind of a flowing sort of velvetiness to it, like almost sort of a tactile rather than a flavoursome essence. It's more of a sort of a feeling, in the same way that the Highclere Castle gin had like a silkiness. This is more of a, like I say, a velvety, a slightly softer kind of essence to it, and it just makes it sort of flow around the mouth. Very, very nice. And all this stuff is going on, but at the same time working in real kind of strong, balanced conjunction with each other, which is always a testament to the distiller when they can make these things work in harmony, because all these things I'm talking about are all completely different things, yet they feel like they were born together. They were forged in the same, furnace, that would have been a better phrase, wouldn't it? I would have looked a lot more intelligent. So other YouTubers would have gone back and changed it. Not me, my friends. What you see is what you get, literally. Oh my God, do you know what? I could almost sort of stop the video right now and just give that, just enjoy that. I might just have the next 3 or 4 minutes of just me sitting in silence, just drinking this gin. What do you think? Oh God, sorry. Or maybe not. Let's crack on and try it neat, shall we? So let's employ the gorgeous and beautiful and very high quality and extremely sought after non-nonsense. That could be the French version, couldn't it? Non-nonsense, monsieur. Or maybe not. Let's crack on and try it, shall we? So let's get a little bit in there. Gin out of a mug. That is the future, my friends. The future of sophistication. So here we go. Now, what ABV? I didn't tell you, did I? What ABV hast thou in thee, as Shakespeare would say? I can't see it. Here we go. 44%. So it's got a good old kick of alcohol to it as well. We like that very, very much. So let's try this. Oh, wow. I tell you what, but as my viewers know, I'm not a neat gin drinker per se, but I tell you what. That it's even better if you inhale it. That is a joke, of course. Don't be inhaling gin, please. For the love of God, don't do that. And if you do, don't say I told you to do it, because I didn't. That, my friends, you know, you talk about that kind of creaminess. It is supremely creamy, even creamier this time. The creaminess had been upped by about, I don't know, about 30 or 40%. And you can almost, from that red cedar, apparently that gives a slightly pineapple-y sort of essence to it, which I didn't get so much in the John and Tonic. Who's John? The gin and tonic. But I tell you what, that is an absolute treat. It really is. I reckon over ice. Over ice? Yeah, over ice. That's the thing with neat gin. It's great, but I always like it to be a little bit chilled, which is strange because I never chill it for my videos. That's mostly because it's so hot in here most of the time. It'll bloody well melt. Anyway, I digress. But I tell you what, that, even if you're not, well, neat gin drinkers, I'm appealing to you. I talk to my neat gin drinkers at this point in the video every single time, so give it a go. But I'm telling you what, even if you're not a neat gin drinker, if you're primarily a tonic and gin, that's the first time that's ever been called that way around. Gin and you know what, I'm going to stick with it. If you are a tonic and gin drinker, because let's face it, there's more tonic in there anyway, but it doesn't really matter. I'm telling you now, give this one a try. Over ice, or indeed not over ice. I think you'll find that a rather pleasant surprise. Now then, when it comes to money, Hugh is a one-man band down there at the Downton Distillery, so they have, sort of certain costs and things, they can't really compete with the big boys. So it's a little bit more than you might usually pay. It's about £45, but it is, well, number one, firstly, it's excellent gin and definitely worth that extra bit more. However, once you finish your first bottle and you like it, which you definitely will, you can actually order a refill pouch, which is only £35, which actually brings it down to a really reasonably priced. So, and I don't know if any other distilleries are doing that. I'm not going to say definitive, I don't know, but I've never heard of them. So I think that's really, really good. One, because it keeps the price down, and two, it's good for sustainability. Literally everyone's a winner. So my friends, I hope that's been an interesting video today. As I say, not many, all my viewers around the world will not necessarily have heard of this one, but I don't do just the big brands on this show. I welcome everybody. We are an inclusive show. When I say we, it's the royal we, it's just me on my own. But I've always, sort of tried my best to help, sort of the distilleries that are not mainstream and you might not have heard of. And so when this goes global, which I'm sure it will, look out for it. Or in the meantime, if you're over in the UK and you fancy picking up a bottle, you could even go down to Hugh's Distillery and you can have I think he does guided tours and everything. It's a lovely place and he's a lovely guy. And it's also, a very nice place to visit because it's right in the heart of some of the most beautiful British countryside. So, if you're in the UK, grab some of that. If you're not, you probably can't at the moment, but look out for it in the future. And as always, guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, don't forget to do that. Press the like button on the video. And if you want to support the show to help me keep going, then you can head over to the Patreon page to become a patron or click the join button below to become a YouTube member. But until next time, guys, you all know the drill. Take care, stay safe. Thank you to all my patrons and members. And of course, keep drinking the gin.